Hey y'all, what's going on? Y'all, I'm just loving this little thing. I'm loving the color, period, but I love it. I love it. I didn't know if it was going to look right on my head, but it's giving. It's giving. I hope everybody is doing great. My name is Tamika Collins, and you are on my YouTube page, channel, whatever you want to call it. Follow me on my Facebook at Tamika Collins. Follow me on my TikTok as Coffee, COFEPH. Follow me on my Instagram as Coffee Sings, COFEPHSINGS. All one word. On these channels, on these episodes, rather, we are reading the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. Y'all, I'm so excited. I get more excited every time I'm about to get into it because I'm like, it's another piece that's gone. Okay? Another piece I've tackled. All right, so y'all know we recap. So let me turn this down a little bit because I'm over here listening to stuff and I get distracted. Distracted. Okay, so chapter 17. It was about the budding of Aaron's staff that the Lord commanded Moses to tell all the leaders of each tribe to bring a staff and set before the tabernacle, and whichever one buds is proof to whom God has chosen to be the head leader of his people. Overnight, Aaron's staff sprouted, budded, blossomed, and produced ripe almonds for the eating. Okay, ripe almonds. So that means they was ready. All this. And was told to put in front of the Ark of the Covenant permanently for warning to rebels and prevent deaths. So it was a warning. It was a prevention. I'm sorry. It was so far, all up in my grill. In chapter 18, it talked about the duties of the priests. The priests were set apart to do only the Lord's will, and the people were to take care of them, and those things offered to the Lord were for them as well, and to share a tenth of all given to them to the Lord. Right? So we in chapter 19. Okay? Let's see what it say. Let's see what it say. It's the water of purification. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, here is another legal requirement commanded by the Lord. Tell the people of Israel to bring you a red heifer, that's a pregnant cow, a perfect animal that has no defects and has never been yoked to a plow. Give it to Eleazar the priest, and it will be taken outside the camp and slaughtered in his presence. Eleazar will take some of its blood on his finger and sprinkle it 7 times. Maybe it's not a pregnant cow. Maybe this is what we heard coming up. Anyway, sprinkle it 7 times toward the front of the tabernacle. As Eleazar watches, the heifer must be burned, its insides, its hide, meat, blood, and dung. Eleazar the priest must then take a stick of cedar, a hyssop branch, and some scarlet yarn and throw them into the fire where the heifer is burning. Then the priest must wash his clothes and bathe himself in water. Afterward, he may return to the camp, though he will remain unceremonially unclean until evening. The man who burns the animal must also wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and he too will remain unclean until the evening. Then someone who is ceremonially clean will gather up the ashes of the heifer and deposit them in a purified place outside the camp. They will be kept there for the community of Israel to use in the water for the purification ceremony. This ceremony is performed for the removal of sin. The man who gathers up the ashes of the heifer must also wash his clothes, and he will remain ceremonially unclean until the evening. This is a permanent law for the people of Israel and for any foreigners who live among you. Although those who touch a dead human, all those who touch a dead human body will be ceremonially unclean for 7 days. They must purify themselves on the third and seventh days with the water of purification. Then they will be purified. But if they do not do this on the third and seventh days, they will continue to be unclean even after the seventh day. All those who touch a dead body and do not purify themselves in the proper way defiles the Lord's tabernacle, and they will be cut off from the community of Israel. Since the water of purification was not sprinkled on them, their defilement continues. This is the ritual law that applies when someone dies inside a tent. All those who enter the tent and those who were inside when the death occurred will be ceremonially unclean for 7 days. Any open container in the tent that was not covered with the lid is also defiled. And if someone in an open field touches the corpse of someone who was killed with a sword or who died a natural death, or if someone touches a human bone or a grave, that person will be defiled for 7 days. To remove the defilement, put some of the ashes from the burnt purification offering in a jar and pour fresh water over them. Then someone who is ceremonially clean must take a hyssop branch and dip it into the water. That person must sprinkle the water on the tent, on all the furnishings in the tent, and on the people who were in the tent. Also on the person who touched a human bone, or touched someone who was killed or who died naturally, or touched a grave. On the third and seventh days, the person who is ceremonially clean must sprinkle the water on those who are defiled. Then on the seventh day of the people being cleansed must wash their clothes and bathe themselves, and that evening they will be cleansed of their defilement. But those who become defiled and do not purify themselves will be cut off from the community, for they have defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. Since the water of purification has not been sprinkled on them, they remained defiled. This is a permanent law for the people. Those who sprinkle the water of purification must afterward wash their clothes, and anyone who then touches the water used for purification will remain defiled until the evening. Anything and anyone that a defiled person touches will be ceremonially unclean until evening. Let's see what chapter 20 is looking like here. Let's see if we're going to read on. We can read on. All right, chapter 20, the new generation. Moses strikes the rock. I've heard about this story. In the first month of the year, the whole community of Israel arrived in the wilderness of Zin and camped at Kadesh. While they were there, Miriam died and was buried. There was no water for the people to drink at that place, so they rebelled against Moses and Aaron. The people blamed Moses and said, "If only we had died in the Lord's presence with our brothers. Why have you brought the congregation of the Lord's people into the wilderness to die, along with all our livestock? Why did you make us leave Egypt and bring us here in this terrible place? This land has no grain, no figs, no grapes, no pomegranates, and no water to drink." Moses and Aaron turned away from the people and went into the entrance of the tabernacle, where they fell face down on the ground. Then the glorious presence of the Lord appeared to them. And the Lord said to Moses, "You and Aaron must take the staff and assemble the entire community. As the people watch, speak to the rock over there, and it will pour out its water. You will provide enough water from the rock to satisfy the whole community and their livestock." So Moses did as he was told. He took the staff from the place where it was kept before the Lord. Then he and Aaron summoned the people to come and gather at the rock. "Listen, you rebels," he shouted. "Must we bring you water from this rock?" Then Moses raised his hand and struck the rock twice with the staff, and water gushed out. So the entire community and their livestock drank their fill. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, because you did not trust me enough to demonstrate my holiness to the people of Israel, you will not lead them into the land I am giving them. This place was known as the waters of Meribah, which means arguing, because there the people of Israel argued with the Lord, and there he demonstrated his holiness among them. While Moses was at Kadesh, he sent the ambassadors to the king of Edom with this message. This is what your relatives and the people of Israel say. You know all the hardships we have gone through. Our ancestors went down to Egypt and we lived there for a long time. And we and our ancestors were brutally mistreated by the Egyptians. But when we cried out to the Lord, he heard us and sent an angel who brought us out of Egypt. Now we are camped at Kadesh, a town on the border of your land. Please let us travel through your land. We will be careful not to go through your fields and vineyards. We won't even drink water from your wells. We will stay on the king's road and never leave it until we have passed through your territory. But the king of Edom said, stay out of my land, or I will meet you with an army. The Israelites answered, we will stay on the main road. If our livestock drink your water, we will pay for it. Just let us pass through your country. That's all we ask. But the king of Edom replied, stay out. You may not pass through our land. With that, he mobilized his army and marched out against them with an imposing force. Because Edom refused to allow Israel to pass through their country, Israel was forced to turn around. The death of Aaron, verse 22. The whole community of Israel left Kadesh and arrived at Mount Hor. There, on the border of the land of Edom, the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, the time has come for Aaron to join his ancestors in death. He will not enter into the land I am giving the people of Israel, because the two of you rebelled against my instructions concerning the water at Meribah. Now take Aaron and his son Eleazar up Mount Hor. There you will remove Aaron's priestly garments and put them on Eleazar his son. Aaron will die there and join his ancestors. So Moses did as the Lord commanded. The three of them went up Mount Hor together as the whole community watched. At the summit, Moses removed the priestly garments from Aaron and put them on Eleazar, Aaron's son. Then Aaron died there on the top of the mountain, and Moses and Eleazar went back down. When the people realized that Aaron had died, all Israel mourned for him for 30 days. All right, that was chapter 19 and 20. We will be back with chapter 21 on our next episode, people. I do so appreciate you coming and rocking with me. I have so much fun. I wish these was kind of live, you know, so we can kind of like talk back and forth or whatever, but it's okay. It's all right. You know, always, you know, you can drop a comment. You can, whatever, speak back to me. You know what I'm saying? This is not my channel. This is our channel that we can conversate on. And, you know, instead of breaking bread, we're going to break technology. We'll come up with something. Anyway, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, and night.